Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today our topic is amenorrhea. So I will talk about the amenorrhea. So amenorrhea means is a no menses, absence of menses, right? So as we know, it's categorized into two types. So first is a primary amenorrhea. Second is a secondary amenorrhea. About the primary amenorrhea is a characteristic is a congenital, and then the secondary is acquired. By definition, the primary amenorrhea means is a failure to start the menstruation by age 16 years old for women who present the secondary sexual characteristic, and then for women who absent of the secondary sexual characteristic, it defined at the age 14 years old. About the secondary amenorrhea, the definition is the absence of the menses for 6 months, which previously the woman had menses, normal menses, right? So about the amenorrhea, it also can classify into the anatomical and hormonal. About the anatomical is a congenital and acquired. For example of congenital is a Mullerian agenesis, cervical atresia, vagina septum, and imperforate hymen. About the acquired is the Asherman syndrome, which means syneciform at the intrauterine. It present after post suction colitis or severe inflammation, and a cervical stenosis, right? Also present post DNC also can present, right? About the hormonal, so hormonal it depend into the level of FSH also, because hypergonadotropic hypogonadism and eugonadotropic and hypogonadotropic hypogonadism, it also can happen to inherited or congenital of hormonals. Another classification, we can classify the amenorrhea into based on the anatomical structure. We start from above, which means hypothalamus defects, any hypothalamus problems, which lead, because in the hypothalamus is a secretion of gonadotropin hormone, GnRH, which hypothalamus which produce the GnRH. So, and then the second is a pituitary defects, any pituitary problems, which produce FSH and LH is a gonadotropin, right, for menses, right? And then we down is ovary. Why ovary? Because ovary produce of estrogen and progesterone to produce menses. Alright, any ovarian failure that lead to, or PCOS also can cause amenorrhea. Alright, the below or ovarian or sexual degenesis. Alright, gonadal degenesis. Alright, sorry, not sexual degenesis, it's a gonadal degenesis. And then uterus is a Mullerian agenesis or Asherman syndromes. For example, an outflow tract obstruction. For example, it's imperforate hymen or vagina septums. Right. Once the patient come to you about the with the complaint of no menses, so initially you must know, is it the primary or secondary amenorrhea? Means is a previously is an actually no menarche, or is previously she had menses, and then suddenly cessation of the menses for 6 months, right? How we approach the patient with the amenorrhea? So in the patient with the amenorrhea, so initially we must take the detailed history. You must ask about the any recent exercise, heavy exercise, eating disorder, or any sport movements, and then any weight loss or weight gains. Alright, and then stress, very stressed, or any psychiatric patient, example, and any new medication which lead to problem her menses, and then associated symptoms, for example, any headache recently, alright, any anosmia means anosmia means it relate with the Kalman syndrome. Anosmia means no sensation of smells, absence of sensation of smells. It's about olfactory problems. Okay, so once we already get the details, don't forget to do UPT, alright, because we want to exclude any obstetric cause that cause amenorrhea. So after that, we further is a physical examination. So from the physical examination, you must get the general. Is it patient is obese or cachexia? Alright, any hirsutism signs which suggests of PCOS. Alright, or and tenor stage. Tenor stage, you must see the secondary sexual characteristic development. Alright, and then the thyroid glands, any thyroid, any goiter, you palpable goiter. After that, we go to pelvic examination to check any imperforate hymen or vagina septums. Alright, so after that, before we can pelvic ultrasound. So at the meantime, we must order the hormonal profile. What hormone that you should order. Right, so first is a FSH and LH. It's a gonadotropin hormone, right? And then estradiols, okay? Estradiol which produced by ovary, okay? And then the prolactin. So you want to detect any hyperprolactinemia and thyroid function test to detect any hyperthyroidism that cause amenorrhea and testosterone, alright? When we already did the pelvic examination, you did the scan in the presence of uterus or absence of uterus. So in the presence of uterus, you must exclude. In the absence of uterus, you must check any presence of sexual hair. In the presence of sexual hair, is a most likely it's a Mullerian agenesis. For example, it's MRKH. Alright, it's a complete Mullerian agenesis. Is MRKH. Okay. The karyotyping is a 46XX, and then in the absence of sexual hair, it's a complete adrenal androgen, complete and androgen complete androgen insensitivity. Alright, AIS syndrome. Complete androgen insensitivity syndrome means is a problem with the androgen receptor. So when the androgen receptors is not sensitive to androgen, so the androgen a lot there. Alright. Okay. So androgen will convert into estrogen, right? Okay. So about the presence of the uterus, so you must exclude the prolactin. So hyperprolactinemia, we do the MRI to look any micro or macro adenoma. Thyroid function test to look the hyperthyroidisms. And then about the hormone gonadotropin hormone, if FSH reduce, you must suspect any eating disorder or stress disorder. Alright. If no such things of eating disorder or sleeping disorder, you may proceed with the MRI. In the normal MRI findings, it can make diagnosis as a Kalman syndrome. Alright. And then about the FSH, increase the FSH, hypergonadotropics. It's a maybe it's a gonadophilia. And then to look at it is you must do the karyotyping to look any gonadal dysgenesis. Alright. In the normal FSH level, we can take the testosterone to look any PCOS feature. And then the normal of testosterone in the highest of 17 hydroxylase, we may suggest is a CAH, congenital adrenal hyperplasia. Alright, that's all about the amenorrhea. Remember, amenorrhea is absence of period. Okay, thank you.